Welcome back to 90 Day Dental Day 28. Continuing again with anterior morphology, and this time for today we're going to be doing the lowers with Gurvinder Bhirth. Let's take it away.
Hi, following on from yesterday's talk on upper anterior morphology, I'm going to continue with lower anterior morphology. It's something that we focus an awful lot on. It's the courses that we organise through with Yanis Mako in the UK. And I'm just really going to go through some points which will help kind of go back to restoring and replacing lower anteriors. Now, one of the common mistakes that we do see when I'm looking at both indirect and direct cases is a common mistake that you pick the intercanine distance, and we actually split that into 4 equal parts. And we actually make 4 central incisors, which are all identical. Now, that doesn't actually occur in nature. It's a little bit different from the uppers in the sense that the 2 upper centrals are wider than the laterals, whereas in the lowers, the 2 laterals are wider than the centrals. So there's a slight kind of shrinking of both centrals, they're a little bit smaller, and the laterals a little bit larger. And when we kind of place that onto these diagrams, you can start to see that it starts to look a little bit more than what occurs in nature. And if you look at each individual tooth, particularly starting off with the central first, the key points are we're going to see the overall shape, which is quite triangular. Secondly, the embrasures. And the way the distal and mesial and distal kind of incisal edges form. And they're quite upright, they're almost at 90 degrees. It's quite sharp angles on both, but they're very much identical. As we said before, and the line angles are quite triangular, so therefore the overall appearance of the tooth looks quite triangular. Now moving on to the lateral, it's slightly different. We're starting to see the mesial kind of embrasure is similar to the centrals. It's quite upright, it's almost at 90 degrees. The distal is, however, different. It's somewhat curved. It's like the distal curvature that we have on an upper central. So therefore, by having that curvature, the shape in the corner changes. We project the line angles now. If they were the same as the central, so they're quite triangular. The mesial one is, the distal one has kind of a convexity in the apical area and the concavity in the kind of gingival third. So when we see that, the area is kind of projected, you can see the overall shape of the tooth has this bulbosity and this concavity low down. It starts to look more like kind of a natural kind of lateral incisor. Moving on to the canine, somewhat different from the uppers. There isn't that large bulbosity that we see. The tooth itself is quite upright. It's only in the incisal third that we start to see this tapering towards kind of to the endpoint. But the actual tooth itself is relatively upright, but the actual inclination, like the upper, still kind of projects more towards the center point. Okay. A useful tip as well to decide how wide to make these areas. Now, as a guide, the upper central will cover kind of both the central incisor and half of the lateral. So it gives you an indication how big to make these teeth as well. If we look at this picture taken by my colleague Andrew Chandrapal, as the teeth are quite separate, it's actually useful because we can actually see the overall shapes of the teeth. You can see the centrals are quite triangular in shape. You can have those upright areas. You can project those areas. On the laterals, you can see the distals are kind of much more curved, and we have that bulbosity in the kind of incisal kind of third and that concavity in the apical third. You can see the canines, the face and the buccal facing is quite upright. The actual inclination is still inwards as well. So if you'd like to learn more on kind of morphology, by all means give us a shout. Okay, either through email, especially through kind of Instagram, follow us on Dr. Gurvinder Bhirth or Indigo Dent, or come onto the website indigodent.com. Thank you.
And that concludes our morphology session. 4 sessions in total on day 9 and day 11 and day 27 and 28. So I hope you've enjoyed those. If you've missed any, do go back to them again. In the meantime, please continue to share, like and follow us on both YouTube and Instagram. And I look forward to seeing you again for a cracking session tomorrow. Take care.